Good morning, family. Good morning, family. Um, Thank you. This won't be airing until this afternoon sometime, but it is the morning time, Eastern Standard Time, my time. I hope you guys are having a great day. This is Naturally Torah, and it's so ironic that Black China came out with her story of removing her breast and her butt implants because I had this scheduled prior to her video. So, um, I'm just so glad that she came out with her story, warning women so women know that, it's not, everything that it looks like online. So, for those of you that don't know what a BBL stands for, that stands for Brazilian butt lift. The butt talk augmentation dates back as far as 1960s. And the first plastic surgeon to do a butt augmentation name was Ivo Pitangi. He's a world-renowned icon plastic surgery, so he did the first BBL. Doctors saying that the biggest contributors to this BBL phenomenon is social media. So you have your IG models, your OnlyFans models, your celebrities, influencers, and a lot of many women are inspiring to be those women because what they see online is someone that has the perfect body, perfect face, perfect man lifestyle. Everything is so perfect, and that is unrealistic. So many of us rather to live in a fantasy instead of facing real life. That's why men feel that they can't be honest with us because we love a good lie. Women, we love a good lie, and that's terrible. So many women have interviews stating that even still after getting these surgeries, they still felt very much depressed after the surgeries. Um, Surgeries are not going to solve all your problems. So women like to blame men for being the reason for having surgeries, but the bottom line is this is an inner issue. This is not a man issue. This is an inner issue. Women get confused on what they think men want based on what they see him liking online. So depending on what you inspire to be, whether you're inspired to be a companion, a spouse, a wife, or just something to play around with, I guess, choose your poison. But I'm here to warn you about how dangerous these BBLs are. And surgeons are saying that they are the most dangerous and have the highest mortality rate out of all plastic surgery procedures. It is the most dangerous. So, men really don't want real life Mrs. Potato Heads. I know women think that's what men like and they want because they see them lusting after certain women online, but most men don't want a real life Mrs. Potato Head where you got lip fillers. That's not real. Your butt's not real. Your breast is not real. Your cheeks are not real. You are a real live Mrs. Potato Head. So everything about you is made up. So there are many celebrities that look nice after having their surgery, and they have had multiple surgeries. And I know to a lot of individuals, it's gonna look at them online and say, if they can do it, I can do it. Also, remember that most of these celebrities that you see with these plastic surgeries, they have the money to pay to get the best surgeons there are to ensure their safety. But even they are at risk, even with paying top dollar for their surgeries. But most of the women that are inspired and watching these women online, they're having to cut corners with their life by going to places like DR in Mexico to get discounted prices. So you're putting your life on the line for vanity at a discounted rate. So, necessary surgeries are risky. So what would make someone risk their life for vanity is beyond me. It is beyond me. So I'm going to stop showing this slide and I'm going to just go over what doctors are saying. Having a BBL does not slow down the aging process. So, women, women are getting these BBLs thinking that, it's going to help them stay young forever, and that's just not the case. And I'm not throwing shade on anyone, but look, a BBL is not going to stop the aging process. That's what the doctors are saying. It is not going to stop the aging process. So getting these BBLs, being a 60-something-year-old grandma is going to look ridiculous. I just want to tell you that. So again, I'm not trying to throw shade, but look at this. Look at this. Do you want to face the dangers of this? I'm not saying this happens to everyone, but look at this. Look at this. I just want you guys to look at this from having a botched BBL. I'm gonna leave it on the screen, and I know it's disgusting, but this is crazy, all for vanity. So now what? They're gonna lose most of that tissue that they have there. So you have to be satisfied now, not even what the body God gave you. Now you gotta be satisfied with something that they gotta fix for you. This is disgusting and it's terrible. This is a you thing, ladies. This is not a man thing. A man does not push women to have this. Just because a man say, I like a woman that's voluptuous or this way, he's meaning naturally. And if you don't have it naturally, then you have to be happy with yourself on the inside. He don't mean go do this. Now look at this. Look at this. This is terrible. If y'all think that men like this, no. Like I said, I don't want to be no 70-year-old grandma with no BBL. It will look ridiculous. And surprisingly, the surgeons are saying that the women that are having these BBLs ranging from the ages of 30 to 55 years old. That's insane. So I just want to say this is a harsh reality I want to talk about. Before, back in the days when the teen girls were coming out, the women today look just like the trans of yesterday. With the lip fillers, the whole face look like an avatar, and everyone looks the same. And here's a sad, harsh reality. Now the teen girls, the trans girls, the ones that's not natural women, they're starting to look softer and more natural than natural women. Ladies, come on now. They're starting to look more natural, I'm going to say it again, than natural women. So not only is this dangerous, you're going to look ridiculous when you get older. So, but this is, as the doctors say, the most dangerous of all plastic surgery procedures that you can have. So I want you women to think about that. I'm going to share something from K. Michelle, and she talked about how she had to have 13 surgeries. Yeah, she had to have 13 surgeries to even correct her botched implants that she had. So let's get into that. Let's go ahead and play that. One moment.
Criticism and commentary about her appearance. After receiving a music scholarship to Florida A&M University, K. Michelle, I love her, rose to fame with her debut studio album, Rebellious Soul, debuting at #2 on the U.S. Billboard 200 and #1 on the U.S. top R&B charts. K. Michelle went on to top the charts with hits like The Rain and VSOP, and her new single, Scooch, is out now. And today, K. Michelle is revered for her beautiful voice, but as she was climbing the charts, she felt a key to her success was about looks. So in 2012, K. Michelle went under the knife to receive what she calls black market butt injections. And though she was originally happy, she says, with the results of the surgery, years later, she started to experience health complications due to the silicone spreading through her body, including struggling to walk and being rushed to the emergency room for 2 blood transfusions.
Hi, I'm Mindy Tietz, and this is my Marigrove retractable awning. I picked Marigrove because of the big...
Now K. Michelle is back on TV, and she has a show. I can't wait to talk to her about it. It's called My Killer Body. And that show focuses on K. Michelle's own emotional journey to heal after that surgery, and she's helping women struggling with the very same issues.
To be laid topless on a table and surrounded by people, drinking Cuban coffee shots, taking phone calls, you know, while they're ripping stitches out of you, it was inhuman.
It was so bad.
Well, you're gonna make me cry, girl.
It's a lot to trust someone again, you know.
K. Michelle joins us from Nashville, Tennessee. K. Michelle, thank you so much for being here. I do love that you're doing this show. I really do. And I applaud you for having it in this real and sensitive and trusting way. Because people didn't know what to expect. Killer Body, what are they going to be talking about? But you really are getting to the heart because it's personal for you.
Yes, it's very personal for me. I've always been very open about everything in my career, from the good, the bad. There's not an in-between when it comes to me. And when I started to go through this, I never once thought to hide it or to keep it from the people that loved me and supported me. I wanted them not to make the same mistake as me because they were looking at me and looking up to me so much, whether it's relationship advice, whether it's any type of advice. So I wanted to tell the truth about what people won't say.
Let's get to the truth. Let's start at the beginning. The truth of the matter is that you felt, as I understand, a certain amount of pressure to transform yourself in the music industry. Your voice speaks for itself. It is the voice. But you wanted to have a different appearance.
Before I even got into business, I had this perception of how I should look, what it was supposed to be. So before my first record deal, I was determined, I need to get my teeth done, and I need a bigger butt and all of this. I was already super curvy and had a butt. I just looked at certain people and felt like I needed more. So I was able to find a person and, a known person within the music industry that a lot of my favorites had used for these silicone injections. So for me, it was just part of the package of getting into the industry. So I never thought about any consequences. I never heard of any consequences. So I did it, and years passed. Like, I didn't have any health issues that I knew of until probably about 7 or 8 years later.
What did you start to see?
Well, I know one day when I woke up, my legs gave out and I couldn't walk. And everyone was running me to a hospital everywhere. They was like, she's perfectly healthy. Nothing's wrong with her. So I eventually took an MRI of my body and my bottom and everything like that. And they saw a foreign substance within my body. And you could actually see it on the MRI. So I'm like, oh my God, I know exactly what that is. So that's when the journey started to get this out of my body. Some doctors felt like, leave it alone because we don't know what to do. Some doctors didn't want to be bothered or touch it. They knew how difficult it was going to be. So for me, I didn't want to look up, and it just kept getting worse and worse,
Let me ask you, while you were waiting to figure out what to do, I've heard people talk about migraines and then just feeling fatigued and the different things started to happen with their body. The person who did your surgery, as you understood it, was this by the book, or was this?
No, it was not These are not legal. It doesn't matter where you go. These are not legal. For me, I thought I was doing it.
You know, people will be shocked to hear, wait a minute, K. Michelle, she got a record deal, she's got some money, and she's going somewhere illegal.
And that's what it was. Like, it was the biggest of stars going to a particular person for this type of procedure. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to go get this cheap procedure to myself.
Wow.
So I started from this MRI, I started the journey to become healthy and remove these things from my body.
K. Michelle, after you realized that, okay, I have to attack this and I've got to get this out of my body, how long was it before you found a doctor that could treat you?
I found a doctor that could treat me who shouldn't treat me. And he somewhat made it worse.
Wow.
Because he allowed it, and you can't lipo this type of thing. And that's what doctors first wanted to do. Well, it's like motor oil. So once they turn into pellets. So once you bust those pellets, it's like free floating silicone in your body that's moving through your body, right? So I found a doctor that specialized in this, and it took me about 13 surgeries later in 3 years.
Would you be interested in collecting 5-figure paychecks for a few hours of work, helping me in your spare time?
And I would say this year is the first year I'm going on like a year and a half that I haven't had to have any surgery at all, that this has, thank you. This has been a thing where I've just been wanting to become an advocate for, to speak on, because that was like the worst time of my life.
And you, I have to tell you, I've always watched your career. I'm a fan. I enjoy your work and what you do. And to think that behind the scenes of taping your shows and singing and doing everything, you were dealing with this in silence is shocking. And you always come off as fearless. I know you had to be scared, because I would have been.
I was terrified.
Yeah.
That was something I couldn't control.
Right.
Like, I'm so used to controlling and, handling things within my life, for me. But when it's your health, you don't have any control of it.
I know earlier we saw you spoke with a woman, Busy, who wanted breast augmentation and lift, and another woman in the show got infection, as she talked about, with dirty instruments. You have such a range of people that you're speaking with. Do you find that, because I know you're not against people doing cosmetic surgery. Let's be clear here. You are not one of those who say don't do it.
No. And I like to always say that. Whatever you want to do, just make sure you're doing it for the right reason. Make sure you've done your research. And I think the hardest thing to tell people is understand that anything can go wrong.
Yeah.
You have to be prepared for all consequences.
Right.
If you do the right thing, read the right thing, go to the right doctor, you don't know what your body's going to say to you.
I love that. I love it. And I love that with this show and using your voice, you're still performing. I love this part. You have a country music album coming out.
I'm so excited. I paid for college through yodeling.
Really?
So yes, I went to Florida A&M University. I was Miss FAMU, and I yodeled for my campaign, and I yodeled for my scholarship, and that's how I paid for school. And for so long, I was told I couldn't sing country because I was Black. And now there's a whole group of African American country singers here in Nashville, that are doing amazing, that are fighting for what we love. So I'm at home and I'm at peace. So this last R&B album is about to come out. I wanted to give my fans, something so they could cry. They like to cry.
Yeah.
So I wanted to give them that.
Okay, Black family. So, yes. So I didn't want to go through that whole thing, but I just wanted her to just go over some things about her experiences, realistic experiences. Just because you see a lot of women, they have it, their body look nice, anything could happen. And is it worth the risk? You have to decide. I mean, What is your reason for getting it? And like I said, this has nothing to do with men. You cannot blame men. If this is something you want to do, I suggest you work on the inside first, because there are still women saying they're still depressed after doing this. And what's the point if you're still going to be depressed and you're still not happy with what you did? So I'm going to share this next story here. And, this is a very sad story. This woman had a child, and this is what I mean. Like, is it really worth, um, risking your life and taking yourself away from your family, for vanity? Because that's all it is. It's for vanity. So this is about the story, and I think it was 3 of them that went to the Dominican Republic, and it turned deadly for one of them. So I'm just gonna just go over that briefly. Her and her friends, they went to the Dominican Republic, and they all got surgery, but the one friend here, she was having some complications, and they claimed down there that they put her in a separate room so she could rest it off because she was still sleepy. Well, she wound up passing away. She had a 2-year-old child. And this is what I'm talking about. People are willing to risk their life for vanity. For vanity. She had a 2-year-old, and anything could happen. And like I said, a lot of women are having to go to the DR or Mexico because they have to cut corners because they can't really afford the surgery. What are you needing the surgery for? And again, I'm not against anyone. If that's what you feel that you have to do to make yourself feel better, how about working on the inside first? And once you work on the inside first, then you can determine and make a rational decision if plastic surgery is for you. Because a lot of times people are wanting to do that because they have some insecurities that they haven't dealt with on the inside. You seen K. Michelle, she said she was looking at other people and she felt like she needed this, more butt, and she was already curvaceous, but she felt like she needed more butt, more, because she was looking at other people. Work on the inside first is my suggestion before you think about plastic surgery. This is a very, the BBL specifically is a very, very risky surgery per surgeons. Very, very risky. And I mean, I don't know about anyone else. For me, I have 4 children, but even if I didn't have children, just my family alone, this would not be worth me getting on the table for vanity and possibly leaving here because I wanted some type of body augmentation. So this is just really to bring awareness to the BBLs. And I am going to read something from the Observer. Give me one moment. And this I want to share here is about 2 was charged with murder and the death of a woman who underwent illegal butt lift procedure at a California home. Like, is that serious that people are wanting to get it by any means? And that is just is just insane to me. So let's go over this story here.
Carissa Rajpal, seen in a video posted on social media, undergoing butt augmentation. Rajpal had 2 procedures performed illegally at a home in Encino last September. She died after getting a 3rd procedure. Police say Lydia Adame and her daughter Alicia Gomez presented themselves as specialists. Both have been arrested on murder charges.
These individuals have no medical training. They are not experienced, and they are putting people's lives and health at risk.
Investigators suspect the women injected Rajpal with some substances used by qualified cosmetic physicians, but combined them with dangerous chemicals.
They were mixing them with other chemicals and other substances that clearly are not appropriate for any kind of medical procedure that would be performed on a human.
Police say Rajpal came to Los Angeles from South Africa, hoping to work in the adult film industry. They say they've contacted other victims who have suffered long-term health issues after having procedures and believe there may be many others.
We're also seeking relatives of victims who may know information, who may have had loved ones that either were medically disfigured or had passed away following some of the procedures that these suspects were involved in.
Victims are being urged to contact the LAPD or their local law enforcement agency.
Okay, family. So, I mean, I'm sorry. So, I mean, people are going to limbs where they're having to cut corners. They want it so bad, they're having to cut corners. You're having someone come to your home, you got to know that they're not licensed to do what they're doing. So people are literally risking their lives to have these procedures. And I don't know why. I do know why, but people will say, no, that's not why I'm doing it. I want to look good for myself. Women, stop lying to yourself. Everything that we do for as attention is for men, unless you're a lesbian. So, but men is not asking for this. Men are not asking for this. This is something that you're doing, and it starts with you first. I suggest everyone, as K. Michelle said, do your research, but work on you. I want to go over the Observer. They were just talking about how trendy the Brazilian butt lift is. And I'm going to just read some of that story. So it says, trendy but deadly, the Brazilian butt lift. Whether in fashion, music, or more recently body type, social media has played a large role in creating short-lasting trends. While idolized body types have always been an issue, social media users are constantly faced with an image of what their flaws are. While social media has played a major role in circulating the body positivity movement, fascination with and the popularity of a specific ideal body type outshine the movement's efforts. One of these body expectations is to have a tiny waist with curvy hips, leading to a popular plastic surgery, the Brazilian butt lift. So it's just saying the BBLs are performed with a surgeon uses liposuction to remove fat from one location of the body and inject it into and around the buttocks in order to give the patient a full hourglass shape. In addition to being one of the most common plastic surgeries, a BBL is one of the deadliest. A survey taken from almost 700 surgeons. So if you don't listen to anyone, a celebrity or anyone online warning you about these BBLs, a survey was taken from 700 surgeons worldwide showed that 3% of the surgeons had a patient pass away after this procedure. These are very deadly, very risky. I'm just going to read a little bit more. It says the reason why BBLs are so risky is because a vital heart artery is located near the butt. So when the surgeon injects the excess fat into the desired location, the fat can enter the artery and block blood flow. Any blockage to an artery can be dangerous as it increases the risk of suffering a heart attack, stroke, and death. The rate of deaths related to cosmetic surgery has only increased as cosmetic surgeries become more popular, largely due to promotions of the procedure by celebrities and social media users. According to 2020 report, the death rate of cosmetic surgeries is about 0.25% to 0.50% for every 100,000 procedures. So, surgeons are telling you that it's risky. While a Brazilian butt lift can increase a person's self-confidence, especially in the digital age, understanding the risks that come with the procedure is vital and possibly even life-saving, which means that please not only do your research, you want to think about having this surgery, because as I showed you before with the botch, the botch BBLs, you could be doing something that's irreversible. So let me see here. I want to show you guys, and I know you don't want to see it again, but I'm going to put it on the screen again. This is basically just my short, and I am just still doing my little videos. I am just starting out, but I do want to put this on the screen again, and it is something that is basically meant to remind you guys that once you do this, what you gonna do? That's irreversible. And surgeons say that it costs more money to take that silicone and take all that junk out than getting it. So this is something that cannot be reversed. Look at these women up here. And again, I'm not trying to throw shade at Tiny, but what I'm saying is, as you get older, I think that a lot of, well, I can't even say younger women, because the surgeon's saying it's between ages 30 and 55. But specifically, a lot of younger people think that they're going to be young forever, and they just live for the now, right then and there. I don't want to be a 65-year-old grandma with a BBL and having health issues. You got diabetes, but you got a BBL. You got a BBL. You still got a fatty, but you sick. You got gout. You got diabetes. You somebody grandma with a BBL. Because why get it if you're gonna say I can just get it removed? I would urge everyone to seriously think about this particular one specifically before getting it. These procedures are very dangerous. Like I said, yes, you have a lot of celebrities that have it and it is successful, but what are they going to do as they get older with all of their plastic surgery? Keep getting it done to upkeep it. Most people, that's inspiring to be like people online, you don't have the money to upkeep this plastic surgery. So think about that before you get it done. Think about your kids and family that, oops, what if there's people that have outpatient surgeries, have knee surgeries, and an artery gets hit or they get an embolism, something goes wrong, just having a basic outpatient surgery and they pass away. So why would you want to risk it all and leave your family for vanity, for cosmetic? Work on you, because that's where the real issue is, working on you. Now, if you're going into an industry and the industry is calling for that, and you feel that your health and life is worth you risking it all to get into a certain industry, then have at it. But I'm just talking to the younger people that look online and inspire, and they're thinking that what they see online is real life. Don't be a Mrs. Potato Head. That's not real life. Oh, I don't like the way I look. I don't like my lips. I'm going to get my lips. I don't like this. You're a real live Mrs. Potato Head. Work on yourself. Plenty of women have talked about having these procedures and they're still depressed. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed about how they feel. That's why you have to work on yourself first. So I just urge everyone to think, research, counseling, therapy, whatever you have to do, because like I said, to a regular surgery is risky, but to do it for vanity, because it's just playing Russian roulette. Just because someone else's surgery went right don't mean yours will. Like I said, there's a lot of celebrities, they have the money to get top surgeons, and a lot of you don't. And it's evident because you happen to drive halfway across the world just to have someone do a surgery for you for the low. So I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I hope it was informative. I'm not sure if many people have seen that K. Michelle video before, but I hope that her experience help people. And also you can go to Black China's IG and watch her video and her tell her experience about getting butt injections. And before I go, there was a time back in the day, because I'm originally from New York, where there were women going like in the basement, same places they were going to have illegal abortions, but they were going in the basements and they were having these butt augmentations, but they were literally letting people inject cement in their behind. Come on, ladies, you got to know, if you're going to let someone that's not really a clinical doctor, possibly never did this before, come to your home, put foreign objects in your body, that is nothing but a you thing. Work on you first, ladies. So I hope everyone have a great weekend. And until next time, this is Naturally Tora. Please subscribe, share, and like. And goodbye.